Family Guy's been printing money for Fox since 1999, 22 seasons. It's literally the second biggest animated cash cow on the network after The Simpsons. So explain something to me. If this is just harmless cartoon chaos, cutaway gags, fart jokes, and chicken fights, then why did thousands of fans get real permanent RIP tattoos for a fictional talking dog that comes back 2 episodes later? Because some episodes don't just push boundaries. They sprint past the line, set up camp on the other side, and start selling real estate. Stick around because we're about to break down 5 most disturbing Family Guy episodes ever made. These aren't your standard offensive jokes and edgy cutaways. These are the episodes that remove the cartoon safety net entirely and force you to sit in real discomfort with no escape hatch. And trust me, things are about to get dark. Number 5. Peter-assment. Starting at number 5, Peter walks into work one morning wearing contacts instead of his usual glasses. His boss Angela, you know, the bitter old corporate hag who hates everyone, she leans in real close, inspects his face, tells him his eyelashes are beautiful. Weird compliment, right? But okay. Then Angela drops a pencil on the floor. Oops. Peter bends down to grab it like a gentleman. Angela just straight up grabs his ass. Yeah, she says,
"This is gonna work out just fine."
And oh boy, it don't stop there. She starts calling him into her office multiple times a day. Even makes him wear these ridiculous outfits to work. You know, the kind your uncle wears to fix his truck. Angela's got him role-playing these weird scenarios in her office. Sticking his hands through holes she cut in the wall, making him call her mistress. And every time Peter tries to leave or say no, she threatens to fire him. Peter tries telling Lois at dinner one night, explaining how uncomfortable he is, how Angela's basically blackmailing him into sexual situations at work. Lois just waves him off, says a woman can't sexually harass a man because guys like being touched by women. Okay, yeah, that's the joke. Male victims don't exist apparently. A woman can't abuse power over a man because men should just enjoy it. And honestly, I don't think that's true. The episode stretches this across like 6 or 7 scenes. Peter's literally saying no with this terrified look on his face. The show just plays it for laughs like it's impossible for this to be a real problem. Oh, and by the way, if you think that's dark, just wait. Things are about to get way worse. Number 4. Quagmire's dad. Coming in at number 4, Brian's at a hotel bar late one night. Spots an attractive woman sitting alone. They start talking, had a few drinks, chemistry's there. One thing leads to another. They spend the night together. That was weird, right? The next morning, Brian's back at the Griffin house and tells Stewie about his little story, feeling pretty proud of himself. Stewie went ahead and told Brian about Quagmire's dad just having gender confirmation surgery. She's going by Ida now. Just casual morning conversation, right? Brian freezes. You can literally see his brain processing the information. Then he just bends over and starts puking. Now here's the thing. In most cartoons, when someone vomits, you get a quick gag. 1 second, maybe 2. Little cartoon barf sound effect. Cut away. Move on to the next joke. Not this one. Brian vomits out this thick, chunky brown stream for 30 straight seconds. Stewie has to actually step backward to avoid getting it on his shoes. When Brian finally stops, there's this moment of silence. Then he screams, this high-pitched dog yelp, and sprints to the bathroom trying to wash off his own skin like he's been contaminated. The Parents Television Council. These are the same people who called the FCC about Janet Jackson's Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. They named this the worst TV show of the entire week. And I mean, yeah, that's fair. But oh man, it gets so much worse. Quagmire finds out what happened between Brian and his dad, and just loses his goddamn mind. Storms into the Griffin house like a hurricane. Finds Brian hiding under the bed, drags him out by his collar across the hardwood floor, then commences to beating the living shit out of him. Punches to the face, slamming Brian's skull into the floor repeatedly. Brian, barely conscious at this point, manages to stand up one last time, looks Quagmire dead in the eye, like, hey,
I your dad.
Quagmire walks away, episode ends. Yeah, that's the punchline. That's how they wrap this one up. But we're only at number 4, and things are about to take an even darker turn. Number 3, Brian and Stewie. This episode throws out everything Family Guy normally does. No chicken fight, no subplot with Meg or Chris or Quagmire. Just Brian and Stewie locked in a bank vault for 22 minutes with no way out. They're there because Brian has a safe deposit box where he keeps his bearer bonds, or whatever. They get locked inside on a Friday night. Nobody's coming back until Monday morning. After 3 hours of being trapped, Stewie soils his diaper. Now he's worried about getting a rash because he's going to be stuck in this thing for like 60 more hours. So he demands that Brian change him. Brian says there are no fresh diapers. They didn't exactly pack supplies for this. Stewie says fine, then tells Brian to eat what's inside the current diaper, lick it clean, and then lick Stewie's ass afterward to finish the job properly. Brian straight up refuses. That's insane. Absolutely not. Not happening. Stewie walks over to the safety deposit box, pulls out a handgun, points it directly at Brian's face. Do it, or I'll shoot you and wait next to your corpse until Monday. Now, Stewie's phone has 3% battery left. Just one chance to contact the outside world and get rescued from this nightmare. And Stewie uses it to call Barney's to try returning a $3,000 cashmere sweater he bought last week because he decided he doesn't like the color. Brian slaps the phone out of Stewie's hand mid-conversation, smashes it against the concrete wall, tells Stewie to get out of his sight before he does something he regrets. Stewie starts crying. Of course, he should. He's a baby trapped in a vault with no way out, and he just ruined their rescue chance. Brian, overcome with guilt because Stewie's genuinely upset, agrees to do what Stewie asked. And then it happens, on screen. Brian eats the contents of the diaper. Stewie starts vomiting from seeing it. Brian then eats Stewie's vomit. Then Brian licks Stewie clean while Stewie's making these disturbing sounds of physical relief and satisfaction. The whole time, a security camera mounted in the corner of the vault is recording everything on tape. Everything. But here's what actually makes the episode stick. Later, after they've been in there for like 18 hours, Stewie asks Brian about why he keeps a gun in the box when he's always posting about gun control. Brian deflects, trying to change the subject. Stewie keeps pushing, won't let it go. Brian finally admits the truth. He keeps the gun in case he ever wants to commit suicide. Says sometimes the weight of existence gets to be too much. The failed writing career, the alcoholism, being a pretentious asshole nobody actually likes, and he wants to know if the options are there. Stewie, visibly shaking now, tells Brian he loves him, that he gives his life meaning and purpose. If Brian died, Stewie wouldn't know what he'd do. So, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification too, so you catch these videos the second they drop. There's way more disturbing stuff coming. Also, don't forget to like this one. Alright, back to the nightmare. Well, we're only halfway through this list, and the next one, it's about to get genuinely disgusting. Number 2. Stewie Is Enceinte. Stewie thinks Brian's been ignoring him. Hasn't been paying enough attention. So naturally, Stewie builds a machine that impregnates himself with Brian's DNA, because that's a totally normal response to feeling neglected. Stewie's belly starts swelling. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester, full pregnant baby belly across multiple scenes. Little maternity dresses, craving pickles and ice cream, morning sickness. At the doctor's office, Dr. Hartman does an examination, checking vitals, doing the ultrasound. Then he pauses. Asks Stewie where exactly this baby is going to come out. Stewie makes up this excuse about sneezing really hard once, and everything sort of just came out, rearranged itself. Dr. Hartman somehow accepts this and continues the exam. Brian, desperate to end this nightmare, has tried reasoning with Stewie, tried convincing him to terminate. Nothing's working. So Brian straight up punches Stewie in the stomach, trying to force a miscarriage. Stewie doubles over, clutching his belly, looks up at Brian with complete betrayal, asks what kind of monster punches a pregnant toddler. Later they're at a Burger King. Stewie's water breaks, right there in the restaurant. Amniotic fluid everywhere. They rush to Brian's Prius. Not gonna make it to the hospital. This is happening now. The camera cuts to outside the car. You're looking at the windshield from the front, and then hear fluid splattering against the glass from the inside. Both of them screaming. These wet, awful sounds. Stewie's yelling at Brian to save the placenta. 7 babies are born, all of them deformed. One's got a dog head with human ears at weird angles. Another got this huge bulging skull, clearly brain damaged, eyes pointing in different directions. These aren't cute cartoon baby deformities. They're genuinely disturbing hybrid creatures. And then 3 of them die during the episode. First one drowns in a pond while Brian and Stewie argue about whose responsibility it is to watch them. They come outside and find it floating face down. Second one gets shredded under Joe's lawnmower because it can't hear the engine coming. Third one gets torn apart by another dog at the park because it smells wrong. Half dog, half human. The 4 survivors, Brian and Stewie load them into a box, drive to the local animal shelter and drop them off at the front door after hours. They didn't even go inside to talk to anyone, just abandon them and move on with their lives like none of this ever happened. Look, Family Guy does weird stuff. That's the whole brand. But this episode fully commits to infant pregnancy body horror, multiple infant deaths, and abandoning disabled newborns at a kill shelter. And if you thought body horror was dark, wait till you see what happens when a beloved character actually dies. Number 1. Life of Brian. Brian's been with the Griffin family since episode 1, season 1. 12 years of showtime. He's not just their dog, he's Stewie's partner in crime. The one Stewie builds time machines with and goes on adventures with across time and space. So, Brian and Stewie were just about to play street hockey in front of the house on a regular afternoon. Nothing special is happening. A fast car comes around the corner, tires squealing. Brian turns his head toward the sound. The car hits him at full speed. His body goes flying, slams into the pavement hard. The hockey net shatters, plastic pieces everywhere. Stewie drops his stick, runs over, and Brian's not moving right. Something's wrong. Cut to the veterinary hospital. Brian's on an operating table. Oxygen mask over his snout, IV drip in his leg, heart monitor beeping. The whole Griffin family standing there around the table in a semicircle. Peter, Lois, Chris, Meg, Stewie. Everyone's crying. The heart monitor's beeping real slow, getting slower. Brian opens his eyes, looks at each of them. His voice is weak. "You guys," he says, "you gave me a wonderful life. I just want you to know that." He's struggling to breathe through the oxygen mask. "I love all of you." The monitor flatlines. One long continuous tone. The veterinarian, standing at the head of the table, looks up at the family. "I'm sorry, he's gone." Lois's voice cracks when she tells Chris, "Brian's dead, honey." Chris breaks down, full sobbing. Peter's just staring at Brian's body, not saying anything. Meg's crying into her hands. No joke, no cutaway to a random gag, just silence, stillness. This family watching someone they love die. At the funeral, they're at a cemetery. Brian's in a closed casket. Peter gives this eulogy about how Brian wasn't just their dog. He was family. He was his best friend, the one who listened when nobody else would. Stewie steps forward, throws a single rose onto the casket as they lower it into the ground. 1 month passes. Time jump. The family's moved on with their lives. They got a new dog, some dumb golden retriever named Vinny. Everyone seems fine, adjusted, except Stewie. He's alone in the kitchen at night, just sobbing, crying into his hands. Everyone else is fine. They all moved on. But I can't forget. I can't. Within hours of this episode airing, fans started online petitions demanding Brian come back. They got hundreds of thousands of signatures. People are genuinely angry, heartbroken. Some people get actual RIP Brian tattoos. Real ink, permanent, for a cartoon dog. The show brings him back 2 episodes later through time travel. Stewie fixes the time machine, goes back, stops the car from hitting Brian. Everything resets. But for those 2 weeks between episodes, it feels permanent. It feels real. Most Family Guy episodes, you know nothing really matters. Someone dies, they're back next week. This time, for 2 weeks, the reset button isn't there. Or at least we don't know if it is. Sitting through that vet scene, watching a beloved character actually die while his family falls apart around him, honestly, it's just so emotional. So there we have it. 5 Family Guy episodes that went way past the line and never looked back. And honestly, these episodes remove the cartoon filter entirely. Force you to sit with real discomfort, transphobia, suicide ideation, body horror, grief, domestic abuse. I guess that's the point. Anyway, if you made it this far without closing the video, congrats. You're either deeply disturbed or you got the same brain rot I do. Probably both. Either way, there's plenty more Family Guy chaos on this channel. Or you can click that next video on your screen right now.